Perfect. So hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us for today's session. It's another active class today, Better Bones for Better Balance. Before I go ahead and introduce our speaker, I'm going to just go over some general rules for the session. Please stay muted for the duration of the workshop. It looks like you're all muted now. All of our workshops will be recorded and posted on our website at a later date. So if you do not want your video to appear in that recording, go ahead and disable your video now. And then also to ensure that you have a good view of our speaker today, go ahead and select speaker view. That can be done in the right-hand top hand corner of your screen. And then finally, if you have any questions for Amy, feel free to use the chat box, and we'll allot some time at the end of the session today to go over those questions. So our speaker for today's workshop is Amy Callahan. Amy has been a certified personal trainer and group exercise instructor for over 20 years. In addition, she's been a massage therapist since 2004. Drawing from her experience in many athletic activities, she designs and facilitates fun and engaging exercise programs for all fitness levels and goals. She teaches a very wide variety of classes, including HIIT, aqua, Zumba, Pilates, yoga, sports conditioning, kickboxing, step aerobics, boot camp, arthritis, Parkinson's, and strength. So quite a lot. Her teaching style is part teacher, part coach, encouraging mindful, purposeful movement with a playful spirit. When she isn't teaching, Amy enjoys biking, rollerblading, dancing, circus arts, and adventuring with her energetic children. So please join me, everybody, in welcoming Amy.
Hello, everybody. Some of you guys, I see we're here on Tuesday with our GATE workshop. So good to see some of you guys back. And I do see some familiar faces from our classes here at Shiley. So hello. You're going to recognize a lot of what we're doing today from our Healthy Bones class that we do. So this is an active class. We will be moving today. So a few things. Number one, for safety, you should be wearing some good supportive shoes. Definitely no socks. Barefoot, you might slip out. So good supportive shoes. And then you want to check out your surroundings. We will be moving a little bit in this class, so you need some room where you can move forward and back a little, move side to side. So you might just take a moment, check it out, make sure you have a safe space. And then if you have any pets, you might go ahead and secure them so they don't end up underfoot unexpectedly. Everything I offer today may not be appropriate for you. So there's lots of people watching this with varying levels of fitness and varying health conditions. So you can stay seated. We're going to do a lot of things standing today. So you're welcome to do as much as you can seated. Jump in. You can take notes. You can watch. You can participate. So do whatever is just right for you today. All right, so that being said, equipment we're going to be using today. So I do recommend that you have a chair. You want something that's really nice and sturdy, that's not going to move on you. You can use it just to support you for balance. You can do it seated, and we will be doing some things where we're getting up and down from the chair, so make sure it's not going to tip on you. The other thing, today's class is going to be a strength class. So if you do happen to have some hand weights, you want to grab those. We're going to put them on our chair so they're easy for us to access. If you have, you can always grab some soup cans or water bottles, just so you have something. You can also do all this stuff with no weight whatsoever and still get a lot of benefit. If you happen to have a couple denominations of weights, and maybe something a little lighter and something a little heavier, then that would be good to grab. So feel free to grab those now if you don't already have them handy. So we're going to get started the warm-up. Again, you can always start out seated if you would like to. And we're going to place our feet a little bit wider than our hips. Let's take a few moments here. We're going to roll those shoulders up, back, and down. So very deliberate. Up and back and down. Lift. And we're going to start to breathe with it. Take a nice big breath in and down. Let's go a couple more times just like that. Roll them back and down. Let's take a great big breath in. Bring your arms up to the top. And blow it out, bring it down. Do it again, take a big breath in and down. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in and down. All right, from here, bring your hands together in front of you, rounding your back. Inhale, lift your chest, look up slightly. Exhale, tuck your tailbone around your spine. We're gonna inhale up And as you exhale, soften those knees, tuck your tailbone. So we're trying to get some movement in your spine here. Big breath in, opening through your chest. Good, let's do that just one more time. Inhale, open. And exhale, close. Let's go ahead and keep the hands together, but stand up really nice and tall. I'm going to take one hand back, look behind you, and together. You might take a nice big breath in, and breath out. You're going to look as far behind you as you can see. We have a fairly wide base right now, which is going to help with your balance. You're also welcome to go near a chair or a wall and put one hand there if you're feeling precarious at all. We're going to make this your last one on each side. And from here, just going to gently reach your arms up and stretch. If this is hurting your shoulder, make it smaller. You can make anything smaller or bigger to accommodate you. All right, and that is that. Let's roll the shoulders, set them down and back. Let those arms just kind of shake out, releasing any tension in there. All right, so from here, we're going to start with a little march in place. So you can always do this near your chair if you need to, and you can even do this seated in your chair with your feet on the floor. So one of the things that can help us build strong, healthy bones is a little bit of impact. Now, if you do have osteoporosis, be cautious with how much impact that you are doing. So we're going to let yourselves press your feet into the floor. And then from here, we're going to hold your balance and just do your right foot on the floor. Right foot. You can hold on if you need to, but try to challenge your balance if that feels good. And let's switch. Push, 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 push. So you're kind of just doing a little bit of a stomp into the floor. Now let's do the other side again. Stomp, 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 stomp. Other side. And then we're going to play with a rhythm. Let's go 2. We're going to go stomp, 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 down, boom, boom, boom. Stomp, 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 stomp. Let's go 4 more. And 3 more. And 2 more. And 1. And back to your march. We're going to start to slow this down and make it bigger, swinging those arms, lifting your knees. And then we're going to take your base a little bit wider, lifting those knees up. Make sure you're breathing. It's going to start to get your heart rate up a little bit. Bring those feet right back together again. And we're going to put that together. We're going to go out and in, and out and in. Modify this as much as you need to. You can still do this seated in a chair if you need. And notice that your right foot is the one going out first every time, if you're mirroring me. And we're going to switch that lead leg. We're going to go out with your left foot, out and in, out and in, out. 4 more, and 3 more, and 2 more, and 1. All right, we're going to start to take away that march. Now, if you'd like to, you can come behind your chair. We're going to be doing some squats. So be cautious you don't send too much weight back into your hips. So we're going to take your hips back, bring your arms forward, and then stand up nice and tall. So sink your hips back and lift. Your body does need to tip forward a little bit on a diagonal, kind of counterbalancing where those hips are going. So you can hold onto your chair or a counter. And we want to come all the way up nice and tall. Squeeze your glutes and pull your belly muscles in for support. Just take it back and then nice and tall at the top. Reach and lift and reach. One more time. Take it down and bring it up. So we're going to take your feet wider. So again, go behind your chair or not. And then from here, we're just going to shift your weight from side to side. Side and side and side. And 4 more. And 3 more. And 2 more. And 1. Now from here, we're just going to go to your right. And we're going to reach across towards the inside of your knee and lift up straight. So we're going to slide down and lift up. And down and lift. Now, if you can, we want to let your eyes look at where you're just about to take that hand. So you look and reach, and look and lift, and reach, and lift. Let's go 2 more. Hopefully this feels really good, working through that back. All right, and let's switch into your other side. So someone on Tuesday had asked about exercises for kyphosis, which is an excessive rounding of your kind of upper middle back. So this is an excellent exercise for that. We're working, as you bring this arm up, we're working these back muscles to pull and stretch. So we're getting some nice movement from your thoracic spine with this. So let's go 2 more, just like that. And lift, and last one, and up. All right, we're gonna heel toe this foot in, and heel toe this foot out. Heel and toe, and heel and toe. You can do this seated in your chair if you're there. Good, heel and toe, and heel and toe. Good, one more time on this side. Really trying to get some action out of your foot and ankle. All right, let's do your other foot. Heel and toe, and heel and toe. Good, go at your own pace. Very deliberate lifting. Let's go a couple more times. Take it out and bring it in. Like this next one, your last one. Boom. And done with those. All right, so from here, we're going to go ahead and start lifting some weights. So if you grab whatever heavier set of weights you have, we're going to be doing what I call box squats. So this is as though you have the edges of a heavy box. You can even hold on to a book for this one. So we're going to take the legs wider than your hips, ever so slightly turn those knees and toes out. And you may need to adjust this stance once we do a couple and kind of feel where your body wants to go. So roll those shoulders, going to set them down and back. Pull your belly muscles in to support you. And then just like the squat we did in our warm-up, we're going to go down and back, push your hips back, and then press that nice and tall. We don't want to thrust the hips forward, which I see a lot of when I teach classes. Just stand up nice and tall and squeeze your glutes. Now, how big you go is totally up to you. And you don't want to do anything that hurts your knees, your hips, your back. So this is a very functional exercise. When you go to pick up your laundry basket, your dog, your grandchild, a bag of soil when you're gardening, this is our really good lifting with the legs technique. You can do as many or as few as you want. You don't have to do as many as I'm doing if you don't want to. Let's go 2 more times, just like this. Nice and solid. Squeeze your glutes. And 1, and done with those. Let's go ahead and walk those feet in, so they're right underneath you. Remember, the smaller your base, the more challenge it is for your balance. So like a nice hip width apart. Then from here, you're going to turn your palms to face forward, lift your chest, and we're going to do some bicep curls here. Okay. So not only are we working on those biceps, we're also strengthening the joints that the muscles cross. So strengthening the elbows, strengthening your wrists. Now on this exercise, you can relax your grip a little bit so we're not squeezing it too hard. Okay, our knees are a little bit bent, just a hint of a bend. Our belly muscles are nice and strong. Let's go 4 more, and 3 more, and 2, and 1. All right, now from here, we're going to just take one of your weights and put them aside. And we're going to keep one of your weights. All right, so now from here, you're going to have your feet hip width apart. And we're going to do a little squat here, down, and lift nice and tall. So this is kind of like I go to the water store and I get these big 3-gallon jugs of water. So you can imagine you've got something heavy. Maybe it's a grocery bag or a suitcase. So we're keeping the body very symmetrical. Hips are level, shoulders are level. And we're taking care that the knees don't collapse in towards each other. The knees are just as wide as your ankles are. And down, and tall. 1 more on this side. All right, now we're going to give the legs a little break for a moment. And now we're going to just bend your elbow, press the weight overhead, bring it down and down. So a little bend and push. If this weight is too heavy, grab a lighter weight. We don't want any strain or pain. Effort, yes. Pain, never. Okay, muscles burning, sometimes okay. Feeling the stretch. Push and down and lift and push. Good, one more time. I love doing this asymmetric work. It's really great for balancing out the sides of your body. All right, so let's switch hands. And now we're going to go again into our squats here. I call it these grocery bag squats. Sometimes I have a weight in each hand for these. So we're using our really good lifting with the legs technique again. So the hips are displacing backwards. Okay, your heels are heavy, but keep your toes down as well so you don't fall backwards. Every time we're finishing, we're coming all the way up nice and tall before we do the next one. Keep breathing. Let's go one more time, just like this. All right, then we're going to go back into our bicep curl. So this time your palms facing in. Okay, and so we're going to do a little curl, push it overhead, and down, and up, and push, and down, and down. So the knees are slightly soft. The belly muscles are hugging and holding you here. Okay, you are breathing the whole time. And we've got a few more, just like that. Lift. And one more time. Up, and push, and down, and down. All right, we're going to put this weight aside for just a moment here. We're going to give those hands a little break. We're going to spread out the fingers. Rotate the fingers forward, rotate the fingers back. And then bring it in and just roll nice easy circles and go the other way. All right, so from here we're going to pick up one of your heavy weights again. And this time we're going to hold it in your hands here. So we're going to get a little bit wide base, so just slightly wider than your hips. And then from here we're going to push the weight forward and pull it in. Push it forward and pull it in. So we are choosing right now to stabilize your spine, your torso, trying not to let the shoulders follow the hands forward. We're anchoring your shoulders down and back away from your ears. If this is hurting your shoulders or your neck, try doing this less weight or no weight. Let's go one more time, just like that. Down and together. All right, so now take your feet just a little bit wider. So we're going to go back to that box squat technique. So this time, you're going to bring it down in between your legs, bring it up, and push and down. So this is just like what we were doing before, but now we're a little symmetrical. Take it down. Maybe you're cleaning out your garage. Going to bend down, be mindful, and lift. Notice that we're not going straight overhead. It's ever so slightly forward as you lift. And we can allow the spine to round a little bit at this point, because if you really had to pick something up off the ground, you would have to allow your spine to round. But we still want to really press through the legs. This is your last one right here. Push it up, and done with those. All right, from here, you're going to grab your weight only with your right hand again. Take your feet very wide. So if you need to, you can have your chair for support. So we did this in our warm-up. We're going to, with your right hand, you're going to come across and then pull your elbow back. You're going to reach forward across your body. You're bending your knee and then nice and tall. Again, you could do this with no weight at all. You can be here beside your chair for a little bit of support, or even just let your hand hover if you need to. This is another one of those that is really nice. Since we had that specific request for kyphosis, we're working those posture muscles to draw the shoulder back. Let's go a couple more times, just like that. Bend and lift. Last one. Reach and lift. Let's do your other side. All right, so here we go. Reach and lift. Now, how big you go is totally up to you, what's good for your body. You could go deeper into it if you're a little more fit and you want a little bit more intensity. But make sure that we're not just rounding from the back. We're still using that nice squat technique, just placing the hips back a little bit, pressing through the leg, and then we're standing really tall at the top. Okay, we have a few more times just like this. And down with those. Walk those feet in again. And we're going to grab our weight again in our hands. All right, now the smaller your base is for this next one, the more challenging it is. So we're going to start with a slightly wide base. And then I'm going to offer some variations on that base if you want to challenge. So we are going to stir the pot here. Some of you might need a lighter weight for this, so feel free, if it hurts your neck at all or your shoulders, just drop down to a lighter weight. So we are stirring a giant pot in front of you. Now, if you want to, bring your base of support a little smaller. Keep breathing. All right, and now, if you want a challenge, now, this is not for everyone, but you could put yourself on a balance beam. And then we're going to go the other direction with our stir the pot. This will throw you off balance a little bit, so approach it cautiously. Push it around. Keep breathing. If you want to, switch which foot is in front. Keep breathing. We tend to hold our breath on these balance things. Good, one more time right here. And done. Let's put this weight down again. And just roll out those shoulders. You might give yourself a little stretch because you were working them. Nice little stretch. And done with those. All right, so we're just going to give the upper body a little break, and we're going to be working on that lower body a bit here. So feel free to be near your chair or behind your chair. We're going to be doing calf raises to start with. So going to press the balls of your feet through the floor and go straight up through the crown of your head. Rest. And down, using a lot of control on the way up and on the way down. Now really connect your brain to your feet here. Really connect down that neural pathway. Feel your feet pressing through the floor. Up and down. And up and down. Press. And lift a couple more times, just like that. Lift. One more. And lift. Now we're just going to bend one knee. So you lift one heel and the other heel. And lift and lift. Again, so this is a good exercise for proprioception, knowing where your body is, connecting that brain to those feet. Now, can we do it faster? Press and press and press and press and press, press for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1 and done with those. From here, just take one foot and press it back, stretching through those calf muscles. Your front knee is bent right over your ankle. Now, those of you who want a little bit more out of this, whatever foot is back, we're going to take that hand up and stretch. You can have one hand free to put on your chair if you need to. We're going to lift up out of the hips. And bring it on in. Let's do your other side. Press down through your heel, so stretching those calf muscles we were just working. Coming forward, and then whatever foot is back, that's the hand that's going to go up. And take some nice inhales and exhales. Kind of relax a little bit through your face. And done with those. All right, so one more exercise we're going to do here before we grab our weights. You can be behind your chair if you want to for this one. So behind your chair is a good place to be if you need a little bit. We're going to go side to side here. Now, if this is too much, you could also keep your feet planted and just shift your weight from one foot to the other foot. If it feels good for you, we're going to take a side step. Maybe you can just put your little tippy toes on the floor there, tippy toe. Or maybe you can lift your leg and balance for a moment. We're not going for speed. We're going for stop and hold. Stop and hold. Really great for strengthening the muscles that support your hips, your knees, your ankles. Good. We're stopping that center of gravity right over your base of support. Don't let your center of gravity go beyond like that. Good. Let's go 2 more. And 1 more. And that's that. Okay. So guys, we're going to grab our weights again. This time we're going to grab your lighter set of weights, whatever that is for you. And we're going to do a little bit more of that side-to-side action, just a slightly different variation. So let's go ahead and step those shoulders down and back. Pull your belly muscles in nice and strong. This one you could do with no weight at all. It's a long lever. So we're going to take the arms out, the legs out, and we're going to bring everything together and press it out and together. The arms only really need to come up in line with your shoulders. They don't need to go really any higher than that. And we're really setting the shoulders down and back away from the ears the whole time. Your chin is ever so slightly tucked. Out and in. A lot of controlled movement here. Out and in. Let's go one more time on each side. Out and 1 more. And done with those. Take your feet a little bit wider than your hips. You're going to bring your hands to these little hip holsters. You got a holster for each hip here. Now, we're going to take this down and across towards your opposite knee. Come all the way up to stand and across to your opposite knee and up to stand. Now, this is different than the one we did before. Before we were sliding side to side. This one, you're just doing a teeny bit of a squat. Your squat is symmetrical. And we're letting your spine round and rotate. So this is a little more about what's happening in your spine, moving through your torso here. Less about the squat. And around. If you can, you want to look, connecting your vision, connecting your head and ear position. So if you can challenge that, that's going to help you with your balance. Let's go one more time on each side. Get down and nice and tall. All right, so from here, bring the feet in just a touch. Now you have your hands here in some little shoulder holsters here. So now, gonna feel those feet on the floor, gonna push up on a diagonal. So the opposite of what we were just doing. Gonna push up and down. You could do any of these sitting in your chair if you need to. Okay, and I want you to notice that I'm actually shifting my body weight. So when you go up and shifting it to one foot a little bit and shifting it to the other foot. And you're pressing up and out, feeling that support of the floor. Push and down. Push. You could also do this with no weight at all and work on that range of motion. Let's go 4 more. And 3. And 2. Last one right here. All right, bring those hands down. Now, this time we're going to ditch one of these weights. Let's set it aside. All right, our feet are about hip width apart, and we're going to do that grocery bag squat again. This time we're going to switch arms. So, going to bring it down on one side, come up, switch hands, and take it down to the other side. So you're taking this a little bit outside your center of gravity here. So you're reaching out and nice and tall, and reaching out and tall. Press. So it is a squat. And now we're adding that spinal flexion here and rotation. All right, so let's do one more like this. And we're going to add a little variation here. So now when you go out to the side, you're going to do a little side squat, push, and together. Need a little more room, and push, and together. And push, and together. You can make this big, you can make this small. There should be no pain. Reach. And up, and reach, and up. 4 more, and 3 more, nice and tall, and 2 more, and 1. All right, very good. Let's recollect our other small weight. And we're going to do a little bit more shoulder work here. So now feet are about hip width apart, belly muscles are tight, shoulders are anchored down and back. This time, we're going to press one arm forward and down, and the other arm forward and down. and reach and down. I really love this asymmetrical work, especially if maybe you have some imbalances on the right and left sides of your body. So this is a great way to get that feedback. Maybe your stronger side can teach your other side about your form, and down, and lift, and down. Let's go 4 more, and 3 more, and 2 more, and 1, and down. All right, from here, we're going to turn your palms to face up. Your elbows are tucked in close to your body. And notice that the elbows remain bent at a 90 degree, and we're just kind of rotating out. Like your shoulder here is like the joint of a swinging door. And you're just opening. So this is a nice exercise for getting some range of motion out of your rotator cuff muscles. We're strengthening your wrists so you're not flopping, don't let them hang. But we're just keeping your wrist in a nice neutral position. Let's go 1 more after this one. All right, now from here, we're just going to push it forward and bring it in. Push it forward and bring it in. Pull your belly muscles in. Press. Shoulders are down and back for this one. We're not letting your torso help at all. We're choosing to stabilize. Let's go 4 more. And 3 more. And 2. Last one. And done with those. All right, we're going to put the weights aside again for a moment. Now, if you've been working with me, you might need a little swig of water, so feel free to grab it down. This is a great time to do it. All right. So at this point, we're going to be working on our lunges, getting down and up from the floor. So I recommend, if you have a chair, you want to be beside your chair for this one. And then if you happen to have a weight that can stand up like so, or you can grab some books or whatever you have. Oh, we're just going to be touching it. So we're aiming for something to touch. And you may not end up getting all the way down to it, and that's okay. So you have your chair beside you, you have the weight in front of you. You want to stand forward so you're fairly close to your weight. And that's what it looks like. You want the weight close to your body here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a very generous step back. Let's actually start small and then we'll get bigger. So we're going to take a step back and together and step back. We're going to start small at first. Now, as we do this, we're keeping our center of gravity a little closer to your front leg. So you're loading up these nice big muscles of your hips. Your back leg is fairly light, so it's maybe like a 70-30 split, and that's going to help a lot. Now, as we do this, we might start to take that back leg a little further back and bend your knees a little deeper, okay? And then if it's good for you, you might reach down and touch and reach down. So you have a lot of weight on your front leg. That will also help save your knee. Sometimes if you load too much the back leg, that back knee takes a lot of force. So loading your front leg, push through your front leg to get up. So you could be right here next to your chair, getting a little bit of support. So don't be afraid to use your chair. You could be behind your chair and just working on transferring your weight a little bit. Some of you guys may be really fit and you might like to even try going down a little lower, but this is not appropriate for everybody that's watching this, okay? But this is eventually to help us be stronger for when we're on the floor and we need to press ourselves up to the top. All right, you guys have probably had about enough of that, so we're going to take a break from that. Now, come up, let your feet kind of straddle your weight, and we're going to reach right down and grab your weight. Now, if that's too much, you can just come down a little bit and back up top. So we're going to put the weight all the way down on the floor if you can. Stand up nice and tall. Reach down, grab your weight, and pull it to you. Now reach down, put your weight on the floor, leave it there. And we're going to reach down, grab your weight, and nice and tall. Let's go 2 more times, just like that. And pick it up. And we're going to put it down, nice and tall. And grab it, and stay at the top. All right, so from here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to place our weights under our chair or out of the way, because we're now going to use our chair as a prop. So you want to use our really good squat technique that we've been using. Put it under the floor, out of your way, and down. Okay, now if you don't have a chair, you could use a kitchen table or a coffee table. You could also come down to all fours if that's appropriate for you. So be cautious with these, especially if you have any shoulder or wrist issues. And this is really important. With this stuff, we're going to be doing some weight bearing on your hands. And if you're pushing forward, this may go out from underneath you. I have seen people in this class, and their shoulders are way back here behind their wrists, and their chair slips. So as a safety precaution and just good for your form, we're going to stand nice and close to your chair. You're going to come down, put your hands down. Keep your shoulders stacked right over your wrist, and then just walk your feet back a little bit so you're making your body into this tabletop. Your feet are right under your hips, and your hands are right under your shoulders. All right? You want to make yourself kind of light on your hands so you're not heavy, but pull the weight back into your core a little more. We're going to tuck your tailbone under and look towards your belly button, stretching through your back. Take a breath in, look forward, reach your pubic bone back to the wall behind you. Exhale, tuck your tailbone, look towards your navel, and inhale, look forward. So we're borrowing this from yoga, doing our cat and cow. And we're looking to get a lot of nice action out of your spine here, rounding your spine and elongating the front. Hopefully this feels really fantastic for you. If you work in an office, you can even take a little break through your day and do this exercise. All right, now bring yourself back to a tabletop. If you need to take a break for your wrist, do. If your wrists are hurting a lot, it may mean that you need to shift your weight back just a little bit. Now, walk your feet closer together. If you need to take a break, do. Otherwise, let's keep rolling. Now what we're going to do is just take a touch your one foot on the floor behind you, and then bring it back right under you. And touch the other foot, and together. We're maintaining our tabletop here to make sure we're not hunching the shoulders or dipping the lower back. Now maybe you can just take and press your foot back, pushing away from you. And we're looking to keep the pelvis nice and level, so we're strengthening those core muscles, working on that nice long spine. Let's go 4 more, and 3 more, and 2 more, and 1. All right, walk your feet closer to your chair and press through your feet. Roll all the way up, shoulders down and back. All right. So we're going to take a little bit of a break from that position. Going to stand behind your chair. All right, and then from here, we're going to go back to those calf raises, up and down. We're going to be adding on to these. So we're going to lift up and down, press and down, strengthening those calf muscles, strengthening your ankles to keep straight up and down. All right, now be careful, don't rock too far back. We're going to lift your toes off the floor. Lift and down, lift and down. People have a tendency to put too much weight and then they lose their balance backwards, so be cautious that that's a risk. And lift, down, lift. Also make sure you're not just rocking with your hips. I see a lot of this. So try to move those feet and ankles. They don't move a whole lot, so don't worry about it. All right, now we're going to put those together. Press to the balls of the feet and lift your toes. Press and lift. So this is strengthening your calf muscles, strengthening the front of your foot. And lift and back and press. Hopefully you're feeling these. Let's go 4 more and 3 more. Lift, 2, lift, 1, lift, and done with those. All right, from here, we're going to do some ankle circles. You're going to make them nice and big and stretchy. And let's go the other direction with those circles. Okay, do the other side. And you can hold on to your chair if you like a little more challenge. You might take your hand off your chair and switch. And done. All right, so speaking of that single leg balance, we're going to be here and we're just going to lift one foot up and put it back down. And lift one foot up. Maybe you just lift your heel and come up to the very tippy top of your shoe. So maybe coming all the way up isn't appropriate, or maybe it is. You want to let your hands do as little as possible. So in this nice, safe environment you've created, we want to challenge ourselves. So let's go one more time on each side. And down, lift. Now this time we're going to hold. Just hold and breathe. Hold and breathe. Okay, pull your belly muscles in. Make sure you're not falling into this hip out here. Keep the pelvis lifted and level. And down. Let's switch. And lift and hold. Keep breathing. Relax everything that doesn't need to be working. For 3, 2, 1, and done. All right, so guys, we're going to come back to our all fours position. And this time, we're going to work on the back side of the body a little more. So we're going to grab that, that lighter weight. Just need one, so you can use your good squat technique. Use your chair for support if you need to. Grab your weight. So we're going to return to our tabletop position. You're going to bring your hands to your chair. Walk your feet back a little bit. Some of you guys might even like to take a little bit of a staggered stance, but as long as those shoulders are right over your wrist and your hips are supported, that's just fine. All right, so from here, we're going to just pull your elbow back next to your rib cage. This is another one of those that's great for strengthening those back muscles. So we're reaching your hands slightly forward on the way down and pull back through your elbow. Shoulder comes back away from your ears. You want to look down towards your thumb that's underneath you. That'll keep your neck in a nice place. Now the next time you lift your elbow, just glue it right to your side. And this time we're just going to straighten your elbow. Straighten and bend. And straighten and bend. Let's try 4 more. You can always stop if you need to early. Don't be afraid to do that. 2 more. And 1 more. All right, put that weight right down. Now, here we're going to do a couple of cat-cows to stretch out your back in case it was getting fatigued. Just do a couple, just nice and easy. And then we're going to do another range of motion exercise. So just scoot yourself forward towards me a little bit so you can clear this front hand, this closest one to me. Your knees are bent a bit, okay? We're going to take that hand and stretch it up towards the sky. And bring it down. Now you're going to notice that one knee will end up bending. You don't even have to think about it. You're not doing it deliberately. It'll probably just kind of naturally turn with you. Make sure you're not hanging heavy on this arm on the chair. So there's maybe only 10 or 20% of your weight that's on that hand. That way we don't stress out those joints. Stretch. Hopefully this feels really fantastic. Make this your last one. Great big stretch. And down. Step your feet closer to your chair. Press to those feet. All the way up. Shoulders back and down. All right, so let's do the other side, everybody. These are so good for your posture. Good for strengthening the back of you. All right, let's come to find our tabletop position, or if you'd like, a little more staggered position. All right, so we're going to do our rows. So we're going to reach slightly forward and then really elongate your neck here. Make sure we're not hunching the shoulders up and forward, but really slide your shoulder blades back. Reach your breastbone forward through space. Pull your belly muscles in, really nice and strong. Let's go a couple more times, just like this. We're strengthening these great big meaty muscles on the sides of your back there. Okay, and then let's bring the elbow up right next to your rib cage and straighten your elbow and bend your elbow. And straighten and bend. So we're working on the back of your upper arm here. Good, 2 more times, just like that. Good little squeeze. All right, put your weight down on your chair. We're going to do a couple cat-cows again, just to give your back and your core a little break. Stretch it out and down. Now scoot forward towards me a little bit so this hand closest to me can clear the floor. Bend your knees a bit. And then we're going to stretch up and around and down. This is another great one if you do work in an office or if you do a lot of things with your hands in front of you. This is a really great one to stretch and balance that out. And down. Again, make sure you're not too heavy on your hand below. Sometimes it creeps up on us, so keep yourself a little lighter. Well, let's go 2 more times. Great big stretch. And down. Make this next one your last one. Stretch. And done. Walk your feet closer to your chair. Press through your feet. Lift up and down. Okay. At this point, we're going to have a seat in our chairs. You can move your weight. Use your good squat technique to do that. And have a seat. All right, we're going to do a little stretching here. So I'm going to take, scoot back so you can see a little better. Here we go. All right, so you're going to take your right foot in front of you. Your left knee is bent. Your hand is here for a little support. And we're going to bring this arm up. Take a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, just reach forward towards me. Reach it forward. We're going to inhale, lift up, maybe just a hint of a little back bend. And exhale, reach forward. Let's go 2 more times, just like that. And down. Make this next one your last one. And we're going to stay here this time. Now you can stay right here. If you're bringing your belly forward and your toes back towards your face, you're probably already feeling a stretch in the back of that leg. We're just going to let this hand come down. Now some of you, this is going to be where you want to stay. If it's appropriate and you'd like to. If you know you're not supposed to bend your hips more than a 90, just stay up. Otherwise, you're going to look towards your belly button and release. If you're prone to vertigo, do not drop your head down. You want to keep your head kind of neutral or above your heart at this point. All right, let's go ahead and roll yourself up nice and tall. Now we're going to take that same leg across your body. If this is not available to you, just keep your feet together on the floor. So we're going to sit up really, really tall, make your spine equally long on both sides, and then you're just going to rotate, look over your shoulder. You can use this left hand for a little bit of support. And just take some nice inhales and exhales here. And come to face the center again. All right, so we're going to do the other side, starting with your left foot forward. Your toes are coming back towards your face. We're going to take a nice big breath in, lift up, and exhale, reach towards me, stretch. And inhale up, and exhale, reach forward. A couple more times, make sure you have a really good secure purchase on your chair, and your chair is secure. This next one, we're going to stay forward. All right, so find that nice long spine, and then release your hand. Now, if it's appropriate and it feels good for you, you can slide down and maybe release your head and look towards your belly button. And just take some nice inhales and exhales here. We're all done with the hard part. Let yourself start to relax. All right, let's go ahead and slide right on up to the top. And cross your leg, or keep your feet both on the floor. And then going to gently turn, look over your shoulder. You are nice and tall here. Feel yourself breathe. And let's return back to center. Uncrossing your legs. Now, if you're able to, you can either let your hands rest on the chair behind you or just kind of grab a hold. And then we're going to lift your chest, looking slightly up towards the sky. So it's a little bit of a back bend, letting your chest be really buoyant. So your hands are fairly light. Breathing into your chest, breathing into your belly. And release. From here, just letting your hands rest on your thighs. Going to drop your head down to one side and then roll it around to the other side. If you're prone to vertigo, be cautious with this one. Otherwise, I'm hoping it feels really good. If there's any places along the way that feel like they need or want a little more stretch, feel free to hang out. And let's draw the head right back up to center. Gonna look over your shoulder just with your head and other shoulder. Trying to keep your chin level the whole time. And one more. And one more. And center. All right, so let's take the hands down beside you. We're going to inhale, bring those arms up to the top. And exhale. 2 more times. Nice big breath in. And out. 1 more time. And out. All right, give yourself a hand for participating today, for making the time to do something really good for you, your body, your wellness. I really appreciate all of you guys here today, so thank you so much for coming. And hopefully I will see some of you guys here at the Shiloh Fitness Center for some of our classes.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much, Amy. We have a couple minutes left. If anyone has any specific questions relevant to any of the exercises today, Amy will be available to answer some of those. So we'll just give it a couple minutes and see if any come in.
All right.
All right, lots of positive comments. Even if you want to drop a comment for Amy, that'd be great too.
So the kyphosis. So I had mentioned specifically a couple of them in class. So a lot of the ones where we were, opening the chest, lifting. We did this one where we went across and up and out. And we did the one where we come across and row, shoulders back, strengthening those back muscles. The cat and cow, getting some mobility through there. And then the stability, where we were holding that position. We were doing our rows in that all fours position. So all of those are really good for helping to lift the chest and strengthen those back muscles.
Okay, it looks like somebody asked, what was the postural exercise?
Posture. A lot of the same things I just mentioned about the kyphosis. It's a lot of the same exercises. And with everything we were lifting the chest. I was talking about keeping the shoulders down and back, long through the crown of your head. Some of the exercises we did where we were lifting the arms to the sides, and then keeping the chest lifted while we're doing all the other exercises. And again, the same ones that I showed about the kyphosis. So bringing yourself the shoulders back and down, really drawing the shoulder blade on this diagonal to strengthen those muscles there. The all fours one is also fantastic for your posture. So practicing against the weight of gravity so that we're not hunching here, but really sliding the shoulder blades back, pulling the belly in, and just really think about stretching your spine, hips reaching straight back, crown of your head reaching forward away from each other. Those are really good for your posture.
All right. Perfect. So thank you everyone again for attending today. This is Amy's last class as part of our Fall Prevention Awareness Week activities, but I know that she does teach ongoing classes. So I'll go ahead and put a link to their website in case you want to reach out to her. Oh, it looks like there's one more question if you want to address that.
Let's see. Best position for driving and best exercise to relieve pressure. So, a lot of the exercises that we were doing, I was telling you, make sure you're not letting your hand, like we were coming forward, I said, make sure your shoulders aren't following your hands. So, really anchoring the shoulders. I talk about in class a lot about letting your armpits be heavy. So you can even try this, is bring your arms up and then let your armpits just kind of sink. Let your arms kind of float and let your armpits just kind of sink heavy. Same thing when you come forward. We're going to let the armpits sink down, let your arms be kind of soft. And ever so slightly, we're contracting the back. We don't want to be like locked back there because you'll get, some muscle tension back there. So when you're driving, you want to have that same feeling of the armpits just gently being heavy and your arms just kind of floating there and doing just what they need to do. Another thing is we tend to have this forward head posture. When we're driving, we have a tendency to let the chin jut forward and the arms forward. So chin tucks are fantastic. So you're going to sit as tall as you can be. Let your chin come forward slightly, and then drop the chin a little bit and lift the base of the skull up. So you can try doing a few repetitions of that, chin slightly forward, tuck it slightly, lift, you're lengthening, and then you might hold that position for 10 seconds and then relax. So even when I'm driving in my car, I'll stop at a stoplight and I'll do some chin tucks and I'll hold it there. When you're shopping, you can just, like we're waiting in line or waiting for your spaghetti to boil, you can just practice a few of those, and that helps a lot relieving some pressure from your neck and back.
Okay,
And then I saw one about knees. Was there one about knees there?
yeah, so ways to protect knees. I don't know what the abbreviation is for a certain type of exercise. It looks like IE. I don't know.
IT?
Yeah, it says ways to protect knees during LE exercises, L/E.
L/E. I don't know if they're just talking about the lower body exercises, maybe. If the person who asked that wants to clarify, feel free. So as far as protecting knees, I talked a lot today about loading your heel of your front leg. So when people do their squats and lunges, they tend to let their knees come forward. And if you can look at that, think about the weight. If you can see that line of force going forward. So what we're going to try to do is just place the hips back a little more to take the brunt of the force. And we're trying to really light up the back side of your body. A lot of people, when they do lunges or do things, they tend to let the knees come forward and they load the quads too much. So as much as you can with that, whatever exercises you're doing, try to engage those core muscles, squeeze your glutes, and make sure that the knees, they tend to like to cave in towards the middle when we do our squats or our lunges. So we tend to go for this internal rotation. So just working, and again, that's a lot of glute action. So trying to keep everything going straight ahead and loading the glutes a little more can help a lot.
Perfect. Yeah, it was lower extremity. Makes sense. Okay, well, perfect. If there's not any more questions, we'll go ahead and close for today. Thank you everyone for your participation. Again, I did drop the link for Scripps there in the chat box, so go ahead and visit that if you'd like. But everybody have a great rest of your day and a great rest of the week. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.